From the bowling capital of the world, America's #1 bowling show. Championship Bowling. From the Firestone Bowl-A-Rama, it's Championship Bowling. Hello, everybody. I'm Fred Wolf. Two more of our field of 24 of the world's greatest professional bowlers competing for a $70,000 prize fund. And we top it off with a tournament known as the World Series of Championship Bowling. We'll tell you more about that later. This week, it's Tommy Tuttle from King, North Carolina, against the veteran from Detroit, Buzz Fazio. And with us again this week, Big Bill Bonetto from Fresno, California.
Bonetto, yes.
Bonetta. Well, we can't say we have youth and veteran. We've got two boys that have been kicking it around for a while.
Two great performers, and I think even more important to the viewing audience is that they're great showmen. Tommy over there with the most infectious smile we've ever seen. And Buzz, of course, I expect him to be leading his own applause section over here. So I think we're in for quite a show, both bowling-wise and showmanship.
Well, you're right. If Fazio gets a double, he'll probably start running out of the building, so the boys will have to be on their toes. And Tommy didn't bring his rifle or his coonskin cap here this week, so I don't know what he's going to be hunting for. Let's bring him in here. Tommy Tuttle. Tommy?
How are you? Nice to see you, Fred.
There's a big story about eating, which is important. So you bowl to eat. No, you used to hunt to eat.
That's right.
And you found hunting not too good down there in North Carolina, so you
No,
took
I
to
didn't
bowling?
eat too often.
You didn't eat too often?
No.
So now you've gone to professional bowling and you're eating better?
Eating pretty good right now.
You still find time to hunt?
Yes, once in a while.
Well, you got a guy here that you can scout this week. He's pretty tough to run down. I don't know if you can get a beat on him or not. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the great performers over the years, Buzz Fazio, the buzzer. Buzzer, all right. Well, we get into this hunting thing. Are you going to be running from this fella? You don't want to don't let him get a beat on you.
Well, I hope he's, don't wish him any bad luck, but I hope he's chasing me.
You hope he's chasing you. He's going to be chasing you, but don't let him catch you, because that may be the end. He may get right past you.
That's for sure, and I'm sure that we're going to have a wonderful match.
Gentlemen, if you'll shake hands and come out of bowling, we'll get this one underway. Good luck to both of you. Ladies and gentlemen of Akron, Buzz Fazio and Tommy Tuttle. And we'll be ready for the first game in just a moment. The first game of 3, championship bowling from Akron, Ohio. It's Tommy Tuttle from King, North Carolina, who won the toss, electing to start on the left side. All games starting from the left. His opponent from Detroit, Buzz Fazio. First frame, first game, Tuttle. In that pocket leaves the 4-pin. Working with us as usual, Bill Bonetta. Bill, it should be a very interesting match, and taking these two styles, how do you compare one against the other?
Well, both the bowlers have what we call rolling balls. Buzz Fazio has a full roller. That means the track on the ball is between the thumb hole and the finger holes. Tommy Tuttle has the outside roller or semi-roller. But instead of lift and turn, they're both what we call rollers.
All right, Bill, we're going to have a chance to watch the 3 white dots here that Tommy Tuttle throws, and we may get into a bit of your pet theory on the amount of revolutions that ball makes before it hits the pins. We'll have to watch for that. Here's Buzz Fazio. Buzz actually born here in the Akron area, Altman, Ohio, back in 1907. A great performer. Too high, breaks it up, the 4-7. The little buzzer. And Bill, I'm sure you were well acquainted with this fellow when you were in Detroit.
Oh, yes. What a competitor he is. He's a bowler who's done quite well. It doesn't seem like he's ever been in a slump, Fred. I've known him for roughly 18 years. And he's always performed well.
4-7. So both boys with spares in the first frame. All competition moves from the right to the left. Each game is started on the left side, as we refer to lane 23 here at the Firestone Bowl-A-Rama. Then his opponent starts from right to left, and the competition continues that way through the 10th frame. The second game, of course, is started on the left. That means the opposite man starts the second game. We're in the second frame. Fazio reaching, leaving a solid 10. Looks like the 10 pin is still going to be with us.
It's what we call a quick wraparound. The 6 wraps around the 10. Mighty close, but there's the 10 pin.
Nice cover by Fazio. It's 19 spare as Tommy Tuttle, born in King, North Carolina in 1932. Filled in a factory league. He became so interested, he built an establishment of his own. Another 4-pin.
We'll be talking about those revolutions, Fred, because the 3 white dots enable us to count the revolutions, and I noticed that at that time he had about 11. Tommy gets between 10 and 11 revolutions, which means that for 10 revolutions, his ball is actually rolling about 23 feet and skidding 37.
Both boys with 2 spares, both with solid pocket hits. Tuttle losing the 4, Fazio losing the 10. These boys will be back making another appearance, meeting a different opponent. There's the strike. Beautiful ball. Tommy Tuttle. And the buzzer now. We'll have to match that one. You know, Bill, we were talking about Buzz being born right here in the Akron area. He was one of the great stars here in Akron. Started as a pin setter in 1930. Attended South Akron High School. There we are. Well, everybody is going along in a very consistent pattern. 1939 strike for each man. And now the chance for the first double of the match as the buzzer moves left. We have one spectator, Bill, here this week, Mrs. Bobby Fazio, and I know who she's rooting for.
What a winner she is.
Granddaddy Fazio. He does not get enough of the 7-pin. Got a piece of it. Didn't quite get enough of that pocket. There's the cover. And now it's Tuttle's turn to see if he can break the ice with the first double. Let's take a look at Tuttle in slow motion, Bill. There's the double. Beautiful ball. Wasn't much doubt about that one, Bill.
No, big ball. Again, those counting revolutions had almost 12. Like I said, the number of revolutions themselves do not determine the effectiveness of the ball, but they give you a pretty good indication of how that ball is performing. And also gives you what we call a path to the pocket.
One more, that's 3. So Tuttle getting into position for bonus money very early here in this match this week on Championship Bowling. Over $70,000 in prizes, and we top it off with Championship Bowling's World Series, when the top 2 scorers after 2 appearances will join Dick Weber, the All-Star champion, and Billy Hardwick, the Tournament of Champions winner. Fazio back with a strike. At the end of 5 in the first game, Tuttle is on 3. Fazio is on a single strike with 79 in the 4th. No mistake there. Well, Well, this thing's shaping up as quite a battle. It's early, and they're really on the beam. Fazio might have had 4. Of course, he left that 10 pin in the second frame. Tuttle left 2 4s and then 3 strikes, so Tommy hasn't been out of the pocket. Better hurry that one. He got out there in bear country that time.
Yes, he did. That was out on the ice again, wasn't it? When you get out that far, it doesn't come back usually.
The 1, 2, 4, 10. They call this one the washout. We notice Tommy's moved to the left side of the approach. Going to run that ball into the 1, 2. Beautiful. And that seemed to be done rather easily and very confidently,
He
too.
made it look easy, but it wasn't that easy.
After that shot, let's see how he looks going to the line. Well, he goes up there just nice and easy. This fella, we could almost say that he's from the new school. He does it the easy way, really.
Yes, he learned how to do it without what we call cranking it. He's learned to roll the ball. That's the modern way to bowl.
There's the cover. So Buzz Fazio, the veteran campaigner from Detroit, on 2. Would like this one. He is trailing in the first game. Tuttle with a triple. Lost pins with a 6-pin count. Fazio has only lost 1 pin. This strike actually would put him out in front. Forgot about that one. So the buzzer is on 3, and we go for bonus money here. If he can pick up 2 more. Tuttle after 3 threw one out the window. On the ice, as Bill says, on the grass. I notice the buzzer puts his fingers in the ball and just gives it a little swing there before he starts, then takes them out again. It's something new. I haven't seen him do this before. Careful. Way high, way high, way high. How sweet it is. Well, a big mistake. And he still picked up his strike.
That was a real big break, and I'm sure that Buzz will take advantage of it.
We're in the 8th. Tommy Tuttle throws. Boy, he didn't make the mistake that time. He got the 4-pin coming this way.
It's easy to see what makes his ball so effective, Fred. He's putting just about as much roll on that ball as humanly possible. We'd like to say about 12 revolutions maximum for a pro bowler, and Tommy's getting pretty close to between 11 and 12.
We're in the 9th. On a strike. Tuttle is back. This time doesn't kick out the 4-7. That was a big double for Tommy, as Fazio still sitting on 4 in a row, and bonus money coming up in the 9th for Fazio after that Brooklyn, or the Jersey. I suppose Dick Downey would call it a Brooklyn strike. But if you're in Brooklyn, it's a Jersey strike.
It's a Jersey, right?
The 4 and the 7, covered by Tuttle. So Fazio now moving in, and the buzzer would like to grind out 1 more for a $250 bonus, and he's still shooting at $259. Fazio out in front by 15 pins. He can add 10 more pins to that, and $250 with this strike. 4 pins stopped him. We've been looking at the 4-pin on the right side. Tuttle has had 2 of them. So after 4, Fazio leaves the 4. Tuttle had 3, unable to cash in with bonus money, and Fazio covers the spare. That hit didn't look too bad, Bill.
I don't know what he said, but it had something to do with 250, so he was thinking about that bonus.
We go into the 10th frame. Tuttle is 174 spare. Fazio 188 spare. The margin 14 pins. 7-pin, a lot of action. But something didn't reach the 7.
There's a pin laying in the channel there that should have done its job, but apparently it didn't.
That's to spare for Fazio in the 10th, a full count here. We'll give him 227 and a good start in a very close match on championship bowling from Akron, Ohio. Fred Wolf, along with Bill Bonetta, our statistician, and one of our alternates, Sam Baca. Two, 6 on solid 10.
Very good game.
Tommy Tuttle in the 10th. He needs 2 strikes to stay within a couple of pins of his opponent. He's out. He's back. He kicks the 4. Now, that hit actually was higher, Bill, than the 4-pin that he left earlier in the 8th frame of this game.
Tommy's got a very good carrying ball. There's a good roll.
Well, it looks like we're going to have almost a dead heat. The count for 224, Fazio 226. A couple of great starts here by a couple of fellas that may be around for the World Series of Championship Bowling, which should be a great finish here in Akron, Ohio. Tommy Tuttle from King, North Carolina. There it is, 224. So it's 224 for Tuttle, 226 for Fazio, and it looks like we have a real good one going, Bill.
Oh, a real good one. Maybe the boys have something to say about that.
I'm going to ask the buzzer about that Brooklyn strike he picked up there in that string. Buzz, how many times do you get over there? Buzz, that Brooklyn strike, how many times do you get on that side?
First time this
Once
year.
every season. Well, Tommy, you did a nice job on that washout. 1, 2, 4,
Yeah,
10.
I let that ball get away from me. I got ahead of that ball.
You got
This
ahead
way.
of the ball.
That's right. It went this way. My hand did. Place is coming back.
Well, he's entitled to one mistake, but that's it.
I want to ask a question on the 1, 2, 4. We noticed that you moved a little to the left side of the approach. Do you always do that? You don't play it from the right side?
No, I always move. I throw it down the middle.
You would recommend to move left.
Yeah.
Some of the boys seem to move a little right. You like it to the left. Well, you did it the right way. It was a very fine shot. So hold on, boys. You got 2 games to go. This is championship bowling. We'll be back for the second game here in Akron, Ohio, the home of Firestone. It's the second game of 3. Championship bowling from Akron, Ohio. Buzz Fazio from Detroit. Tommy Tuttle from King, North Carolina. Fazio, 226. Tuttle, 224. And the buzzer threw that one away. The 1, the 2, and the 4 seem to have a little... I'm trying to read his lips, Bill. I thought he said too fast.
I think his feet got ahead of his swing. We have a saying, Fred, that the feet will catch up to the swing, but the swing has a tough job catching up to the feet. So actually, his feet just move a little faster than he wanted them to.
That's the cover. The AMF sparemaker indicating the ball to the left, or covering the 1 and the 2. The 4 takes care of itself, actually hitting all 3 pins with the ball. So Tommy Tuttle, who actually got 7 strikes to Fazio's 5, but is 2 pins behind. There's a good ball. That's 4 in a row for Tuttle over there on that side. He finished with 3 in the first game and starts off with 1 here in game number 2.
He got that ball out to the right a little bit more than usual, Fred, but looks like he strapped it pretty good.
He strapped it pretty good?
Oh, that's a new term some of the young fellows use to indicate lift or finger action. Sometimes you get the ball out a little further than you want, and you lift it, they call it strapping.
There's another one. Very noticeable on that shot, Bill. He seemed to move the ball much more. As you say, he strapped it on the right. Here on the left, he actually set that one a little bit.
There's There's a rolling ball.
The buzzer is back, but Tuttle is now out in front with his double. He trailed by 2. He's off with 2. The margin is 8 pins, and Tuttle is out in front for the first time. Actually, Tommy took the lead on his 3-bagger early in the first game, but Fazio caught him in the 6th frame and held the lead throughout the game. Another Brooklyn? It can't be. Well, that's 2 of them. An Akron special, they call that one.
That's the second time this year.
Second time this year, yes. Second time this week. Going for 3. Look at that ball move. And the 7 pin is up there. Oh, he did some strapping with that one, Bill. He was out there and really brought it back. Deserved a better fate than that. He got a lot of action in the 7 pin. We're in the 3rd frame of the second game. $1,000 to the winner, $500 to the runner-up. Talking of Tuttle, he said that he prefers hunting to bowling, but he likes to eat better than hunt, and he can buy more eats by bowling, so he bowls rather than hunt. And he won't be eating too much if he throws many more out there. The 1, 2, and the 8 pin.
Well, I'm sure he won't do that very often.
3 pins in count, of course, that may prove very valuable to his opponent. Counts are important. 1, 2, 8. Look out. He missed it. Now, there again, Tommy indicated that on the 1, 2, 4, 10, he played it from the left. I noticed he moved actually left on that shot. Let's take a look, Bill, at Buzz Fazio in slow motion. Here is style, ladies and gentlemen. Watch it. Fighter was fighting for that one, Bill. A nice kick on the 4. Getting their bonus money again.
That's what makes this a thrilling match. These 2 fellows are very colorful, very fine bowlers, and we can expect almost anything.
On 3. We're in the 5th, almost halfway. Big strike for the buzzer. Oh, there he goes. Come on back, Buzz. Well, I mentioned if he gets a couple, we may lose him, Bill.
Yes,
he's on 4 now. He's going after that $250 again. See, we
be out of camera range.
Kick the 4 pin. Going to be on the same side for his 5th strike. A lot of great action by Tommy Tuttle. So at the end of 5 in the second game, we are halfway. Tuttle is 75 on a strike. Fazio has a spare and 4 strikes. We're in the 6th frame, second game. Tuttle wants the double. He's there. So he comes right back. After missing the head pin in the 4th, leaving the 1, 2, 8, and missing this spare, comes right back with the big double, and he needed that one because Fazio is now on 4 strikes. Dropped it. He dropped it and rolled over the thumb.
He left the 4 pin. A real thumper. Well, he left the 4 pin twice for bonus money, Fred. He has a full roller, and when it hits the thumb hole, that means he didn't transfer the weight over to the left side quickly enough. He might have tripped that had it been higher.
Well, that's twice that Fazio's had the 4, and twice he has left the 4 pin, and both times on the same lane on the right side. We go into the 7th, and that, of course, a break for Tuttle. The margin, 26 pins. Fazio out in front. A lot of room. Careful, be careful. He broke it up, nothing but the 6 pin.
It's amazing how often when a bowler stops, it's hard to get back into the strike pattern.
Fazio covering the spare in the 7th, so the buzzer is 148 spare as Tuttle steps up in the 7th, working on 2 strikes. Too high, right in the middle, Bill, and we have our first wide open split.
Well, at 6, 7, 10, I noticed in practice session that occasionally on lane 24 it did pop up, and have to be a little bit careful, keeping the ball a little bit more direct than you would normally.
Too much of the 4, too much of the 6 rather, and Tuttle is open here in the 7th frame, and it was a great chance for Tommy to close the gap. 2 open frames in this game cuts him off at 130 in the 7th. Doesn't get there, and that's about the usual thing. 1 mistake sometimes means 2. He's a little careful with that one, Bill.
Yes, and with all the trouble he had with the 1-2-8, he'd have to be a little bit more careful here on this bucket shot.
Going away. Covering the 2 and the 4, and the AMS Fairmaker, of course, indicating to cover the 2 and the 5.
Yes, but he was a little cautious there because he had not been able to get the ball up on that 1-2-8 conversion.
It's Buzz Fazio moving in on the right side. A former employee of the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company many years ago here in Akron, Ohio, before, of course, he became one of the great stars in this great sport of bowling. It's another 4-pin for the buzzer. This fella shot 802 on television in Detroit back in 1955. There's a cover. I believe you were in Detroit, 55, weren't you, Bill? When did you leave Detroit?
In 55.
55.
55.
We're into the 9th. Fazio out in front. The margin, 39 pins. Tuttle, 224 the first game. Fazio, 226. Tuttle getting away with a double this game, missing a spare in the 4th, a wide open split in the 7th. Fazio, spare and 4, missed bonus money, leaving the 4-pin on the nose again and leaving nothing but the 3-pin. So the boys have lost their line all of a sudden.
Talking before the show, Buzz said that he narrowed the span on his ring finger so he wouldn't kick the ball quite as much as he normally does, and I see that it has affected his line.
Fazio with a cover, 106 in the 8th, a spare in the 9th. A mark in the 10th will give him his second 220 game. Tuttle has a long way to go. That's out there. There's a solid 10, that 6-pin going right around it.
Looked like a pretty fair ball there. He had a little bit more direct line than he had before. This is a part of the game we all have to take 10-pin taps and learn to make the spare.
Very automatic. One of the folks in back of us here was a little concerned that Tommy's ball might hook away, but Tommy knew exactly where it was going. We go into the 10th frame. The margin is still 39 pins. Buzzer now has 6 grandchildren, Bill.
Well, years sure go by quickly.
That looked like a real chopper.
That smile of Tommy's has made him one of the favorites every place he's been, I'm sure, in the last 2 or 3 years. He's a great performer.
Did very well on the 64 PBA Tour. He won close to $15,000, won the Baltimore Open, was runner-up to Bob Strampy in the All-Star. Too high, there's another 6, 7, 10. I have a word to the wives. Girls, if you feel that you're not good enough to bowl with your husband, why don't you get in some practice during the day, maybe, while he's at work or the children are in school? Now, if you're a beginner, inquire about taking lessons. Almost trying for the count in 188 for Tommy Tuttle. And you know, it might be quite a surprise when you go out bowling with hubby when suddenly you're a much improved bowler. We're in the 10th. Fazio on a spare. Back in that pocket. The first strike in the 10th. A chance for 236. Well, Fazio's been quite fortunate, Bill, in that his nose hits haven't cost him anything. He's broken up 3 or 4 solid nose hits. He's picked up 2 Brooklyns on the left side. Both for doubles.
Yes, all in all, that tends to make the bowler a little bit more loose. I think, Fred, when you are loose, you tend to break down the splits on those high hits. A grand bowler at any age.
There's a big one. So that gives Fazio another 10 pins to work on. The full count, 236. This will give him 462 going in. Tuttle at 412. That's it. 236. Fazio, 236. Tommy Tuttle, 188. The totals for Tuttle, 412. For Fazio, 462. Tommy, those 2 Brooklyns that the buzzer threw at you, they bother you at all? Does that bother a bowler?
No.
Doesn't bother you at all?
No.
Really? Are you being real honest?
What?
You're being honest with me.
Yes, they didn't bother me. I'm just trying to get a line yet.
How did you like those 2 on the wrong side, Buzz?
Oh, there's no wrong side. I got 10 pins.
There is no wrong side. Well, that's twice this year you've been on the Brooklyn Buzz. Congratulations. We'll be back now for the 3rd and final game on Championship Bowling from Akron, Ohio, the home of the Professional Bowlers Association. Tommy Tuttle from King, North Carolina will start the 3rd and final game. He trails by 50 pins. Fazio 462, Tuttle 412. 7 pin. The wobble and the wiggle. The wiggle and the wobble, but it'll be a spare shot. Looked like a good ball.
Very good ball. He had a lot of mix on it. As Dick Downey calls it, fruit salad. Those pins mix around a little bit.
Fruit salad. There's the cover. Fazio has been knocking on the bonus door. He had 4 in a row the first game, left a solid 4-pin on the right side. 4 in a row the second game, and left a 4-pin on the right side. So 2 4-baggers, a 220 game, a 230 game. 238 away from 700. 5-7 is still there. Now that ball rolled over the holes.
Yes, it did. He was telling me before the show he has a new shot. That is a shot he deliberately stays behind the ball so it won't hook much, and he has used it about 3 or 4 times during the match. This time, of course, he could have used a little more finger lift. But Buzz is so accurate that I believe he can make this into a spare.
just a little too accurate, though.
He cut that rather thin, didn't he?
Well, that's the first open frame for Fazio. That cuts the margin down to 40 pins. So Tommy Tuttle still much in the thick of it here. $1,000 to the winner, $500 to the runner-up. These boys will be making another appearance. There's a 10-pin. Total pins for their 2 appearances, or 6 games, will qualify 2 men of the 4-man field for Championship Bowling's World Series. They will join Dick Weber, the National All-Star champion, Billy Hardwick, the Firestone Tournament of Champions winner. So it should be quite a finale here at Akron, Ohio. Despair for Fazio. Tuttle now just might be sensing that Fazio is in some sort of trouble, leaving a 5-7. This might cause him to push a little bit, as we've seen happen so many times, to try to get the solid strike, and then, of course, end up wide open. Tuttle, look out. Tuttle was the one that was high, left the 6-10. So Tuttle unable to get something set up here to take advantage of that open frame.
I don't think he's too certain yet what he would like to do on lane number 24. Occasionally he bellies the ball out, and other times he attempts to drive it.
Tuttle covers the 6-10. We go into the 3rd frame. The margin, exactly 41 pins. They're both on spares. No mistake there, Bill. Little fruit salad. Fazio now in on the right, and the buzzer's got to match Tuttle. His margin is cut down to 41 pins. And Mrs. Bobby Fazio sitting here very patiently, wishing this was over. There it is. Well, that one didn't roll over the thumb hole, Bill.
No, he stroked that one. Smoothly, evenly, all one piece.
We're in the 4th, both boys on strikes. Very important 7 frames coming up for both men. Total pins, so important. Win or lose. That'll get there. There's a big one. So Fazio with 2. Tuttle needs this one. We have a group of Cub Scouts here in Akron, Ohio with us this week from Pack 3170. These youngsters, of course, will become Explorer Scouts. I'll tell you something about the Scouts. Explorers, there's a double, so Mr. Tuttle is still in here. As we go into the 5th frame, they're both on 2. The Explorer Scouts had an achievement award for bowling under the Sports That Last a Lifetime program, sponsored by AMF and the Boy Scouts of America. And they had the I Beat Dick Weber contest, with the winners getting medallions. Also, golf has a similar program with Ben Hogan, also one of AMF's fine promotions. There's another one. If you were at the World's Fair, of course, you probably had a chance to see the AMF monorail. And there was a monorail fund, which, of course, was connected with the Explorer Scouts. And it worked out very well. We're in the 5th. Tuttle on 3. Fazio on 2. Trying for 3. Gets there. He's in and he takes it. Oh! So at the end of 5 in the 3rd and final game, Tuttle is 38 on 3. Fazio is 29 on 3. We're in the 6th frame. Both boys stringing them out. The buzzer reaches up. Solid 10 pin. Well, I think the buzzer thought he had that one.
Oh, that was a beautiful ball. And I think now that perhaps Tommy Tuttle senses his real opportunity to make a little move in the right direction.
You know, that would have put Fazio in the same position for the third time, once each game moving to the right side on 4 strikes in a row. The 10-pin, and he gives it an extra kick. Covers the spare as Tommy Tuttle now has the chance to cut down this margin, which is still 41 pins. Tuttle making the big charge, but Fazio stayed with him for 3 and then lost a solid 10. So Tuttle needs this one to cut it down to 30 pins. Look out. Too high, 6-10. So the margin will still stay. Actually, Fazio will pick up 1 pin and count. Tuttle getting 8 on his triple. Fazio getting 9. There's the cover. Crowding a bit to 3-6-10. So Tuttle after the triple, hitting the nose in the 6th, and here again in the 7th. The margin now will go to 45 pins. 3 frames left for Tuttle, 4 frames for Fazio. Here's a tough shot, Bill.
This is the one I detest.
Nicely covered. The AMF Sparemaker indicating between the 3 and the 6th exactly what Tommy did, and now we look at Buzz Fazio. Grandfather of 6.
Buzz appears to get smoother and stronger as he goes along.
There it is. Oh, that 10-pin, very costly, but let's look at the bonus possibilities. The buzzer can still make it, and so can Tuttle. Fazio's had 2 cracks at it. Left the 4-pin each time after 4 in a row. This game, he had 3 and left a 10-pin and comes right back with 1. He'll need this one. And 3 more. Here they have it. 10-pin again.
That wasn't nearly as solid as the one before on lane number 23, but he wanted it.
Now, if we could just read his mind out there, Bill, it ought to be quite interesting. When you look at this fella, the real champion that he is, he registers all this disappointment, so to speak. Not disgust, but disappointment, and then regains all of his composure to shoot at the spare just as if there was nothing to it.
Yes, he certainly doesn't hide his emotions.
Really? Tuttle. Oh, right there. Well, this is the last chance for Mr. Tommy Tuttle. He just has got to go all the way. He still can get bonus money. No chance for Fazio. We can strike him out for 243. He trailed by 50. So Fazio needs 194 to win this match. Means he'll have to mark out if Tommy goes all the way. He doesn't get there, the 245. Tuttle had to have that one.
Well, he let the 3-6-10 in the frame before on 23 fit, and as we've seen so often, he seemed to over-adjust and let the 2-4-5.
Going away, the 2-4-5 for Tommy Tuttle, not following the AMF Spearmaker, of course, which indicates to get the ball between the 2 and the 5. So Fazio, moving in on the right, started with a 5-7, a pocket hit, then a 10-pin, then 3 strikes, a 10-pin, a strike, a 10-pin. So the buzzer hasn't been out of there since the 9th frame of the second game. He had 3 strikes in the 9th, 3 strikes in the 10th of the last game. Just a bit out of there, the 2-4-5-8. Didn't miss the pocket by much, but loses 4 pins and counts.
Well, had Tommy Tuttle struck, it would have been a count that he'd have been looking for Buzz to get, but it's a little bit late now.
Got it. The margin, 41 pins. Fazio is 164. He has the spare in the 9th. Tuttle 173 with a spare in the 9th. The buzzer, the winner of the Princeton, New Jersey Open on the PBA Tour in 1964. He won close to $19,000. On the 65 Winter Tour, $11,000. There's another one, 2-4-5-8. And the buckets are coming. The pins are falling in buckets. This is still a tough shot, isn't it, Bill?
Still is.
The buzzer made this one going away on the right side. Let's see how he handles it over here.
Whoops,
Dropped it.
come up there.
Dropped it. And he's open. So Fazio started this game with an open, finished it with an open for 189, which will still give him 651. Both Fazio and Tuttle will be making another appearance. Total pins for 6 games. The top 2 men in the World Series of Bowling, along with Dick Weber and Billy Hardwick. Tuttle with a 4. Tommy was 3rd in the National All-Star in 1965, and on the Winter Tour won $10,500, averaged 208 in only 6 tournaments. The cover for Tuttle. The count will give him 211. Full count for 211 and 623 for Tommy Tuttle from King, North Carolina. 210. Correction. 210 for Tommy Tuttle in the 3rd game. We'll be back. We'll check the totals and back for the presentations. Championship bowling from Akron, Ohio, where the World Series of Golf is played annually. Here are the final results for Tommy Tuttle, 224, 188, 210. The total is 622. For Buzz Fazio, 226, 236, a 189 finish for 651. Did you enjoy this one, ladies and gentlemen? Tommy, as the runner-up share, $500. That means in your next appearance, you got to kind of turn it on a little bit.
That's right. I got to shoot him about 750.
750?
That's right.
750. Did you hear that, Buzz?
I heard him.
What do you think you're going to need?
Well, I'll need
730.
730. Are you kidding?
$1,000 being the winner. I'll give you a little statistic up there. You managed to win, but do you know that Tommy had exactly the same amount of strikes that you had? 16 apiece.
Yeah, well, I stole a couple on him.
That's right. But they count.
And do they count?
Now, tell me confidentially how many times you've been on the Brooklyn this year.
This year?
We know of 2.
Oh, about 15.
15 times. You do go on the Brooklyn that many times.
Well, after a while, you know, things kind of get a little tight, and I kind of try to steer it a little bit, Freddie.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding?
All right, Buzz. Good luck to you next time, boy. Here in Akron, Ohio, your old hometown. I want you to really give us the big 700. Tom, you've already predicted a 750. We're looking forward to that.
That's right. I just hope I shoot it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a nice hand. 2 great performances. Good luck to you. We sure hope you can join us again next week here at the Firestone Bowl-A-Rama in Akron, Ohio, when we'll have 2 more of bowling's top professional stars in a 3-game match competing for a prize fund of some $70,000. So speaking for Bill Bonetta and myself, this is Fred Wolf, just telling you to keep 'em bowling out there. It's great. Great. Shirts and slacks used on championship bowling by King Louie. Bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress, and we wish to thank AMF for their cooperation in helping us produce championship bowling.